Hello, my name is David.
Hello, my name is Sam, and we are part of the Future Focus Finance Delivery team.
And we're going to put together a short video for you explaining some of the background to Future Focus Finance. So the initiative started back in the autumn of 2013 when Mark Orchard, who's part of NHS England, agreed to take on some work around developing what was then the NHS England finance team, but Mark quickly decided that he wanted to involve everybody in NHS finance. So he and Paul Baumann, who is the finance director of NHS England, held a number of meetings and with colleagues, and they very soon had the Finance Leadership Council set up. That comprises Bob Alexander at the TDA, Paul Baumann from NHS England, Steve Clark from Health Education England, Richard Douglas from the Department of Health, Stephen Hay from Monitor, and Andy Hardy from HFMA. And they together decided that they wanted to get the Future Focus Finance up and running to help develop finance function across the NHS. It's great to have the buy-in from all of our colleagues across those 6 major organisations to ensure that all of us in NHS Finance have a chance to develop ourselves.
Okay, so I'm going to explain to you about the Finance Leadership Council and how it operates. So its main function is to be the leadership and the point of responsibility for the Future Focus Finance programme. So as David has explained to you, the membership of that group, and then underneath them are senior responsible officers who take each action area within the Future Focus Finance programme. So let me just tell you what they are. Best Possible Value is led by Caroline Clark. Efficient Processes and Systems is led by Bill Shields. Close Partnering is led by Dr. Sanjay Agarwal. Skills and Strengths is led by Richard Alexander. Great Place to Work is led by Kathy Kennedy. And Foundations for Sustained Improvement is led by Mark Orchard. So each of those senior responsible officers hold meetings and teams and are reaching out across England for you to get connected to the work that they are delivering for Future Focus Finance.
So Sam and I lead on 3 areas each, along with our colleague Becky, and I thought it would be useful to just spend a little bit of time telling you where we're up to in terms of developing those particular projects right now. So to begin with Best Possible Value, Caroline has held a workshop back in the middle of May, and we're now at the next phase of delivery, which is to try and understand what it is that you want from that work stream. So what we're hoping to achieve is a piece of work that understands that we need to ensure value is being derived from every penny we spend in the service. We've defined value as being patient outcome plus patient safety plus the patient experience divided by cost, which tells us not just how much we're spending on patients, but what benefit they're getting from that expenditure. We are hoping to have some very practical products by the end of the calendar year, which will explain how that value can be derived and will help us to make the most difficult decisions that we have to in our roles. Within Efficient Systems and Processes, Bill is looking to do a 3-stage project which will look to develop a maturity model which explains how best possible systems are delivered. Will allow you to measure yourselves against that model and then provide a methodology to take some good practice forward within your particular finance function. That will be for all parts of the NHS, not just provider arms, but all parts of the service. And we're hoping that will free up time and effort to allow people to focus on the key areas they need to do within their work.
Okay, so I'm now going to talk about close partnering, which the major piece of work for close partnering is a 360 feedback, and this will be in 3 phases. The first phase is with finance colleagues and with clinical colleagues across the NHS, and we will be looking at surveying those individuals to gather the information and data about how they are operating well in our NHS. The second phase is with patients and public, so how well are patients and public engaging with NHS finance and what are their feelings and views about how NHS finance is functioning. And the third is around the external stakeholders and our partners, our business partners from both in the NHS and outside the NHS and internationally too. So the next action area is Great Place to Work, led by Kathy Kennedy, and at the moment we have identified 20 pilot teams who will undertake a team assessment, which is part of the Great Place to Work Institute, and they will undertake a survey. Over 800 employees are taking part, and that will take place in June and July, and we'll have the report and the outcomes of that in September. So we will know whether Great Place to Work as an institute fits well for NHS finance function or not, and we're delighted to support those 20 pilot sites. Foundations for Sustained Improvement, the main concepts in there are around the development of value makers, which is a very exciting piece of work, and we're reaching out to all areas of the NHS to ask them to become value makers, and I'll talk more about that shortly. There is lots of activity in our Communications Hub website, and also we're reaching to people through Twitter to say, tell us your thoughts and your views about how we can sustain the improvement across NHS finance.
Thanks. And then the final area is skills and strengths, which we've left till last because quite deliberately this piece of work will be the last to get started. Richard Alexander is very keen to liaise with external partners to try and understand what they do around developing their finance staff in the best ways that they can. We also need to feed into that piece of work the outputs from the other project areas. So in a couple of months' time we'll begin to develop some really practical online app-based products that will allow you as individuals to think about your development throughout the year, rather than just leaving it for those once a year PDRs or appraisals, whatever it happens to be. What we're going to move on to next to finish this video off is some very quick ideas about how you can get involved in Future Focus Finance and things that you personally can do to make a difference to the NHS finance function.
So firstly, the Finance Director's Declaration. So this was launched just over a month ago, and we already have over 100 finance directors signed up to the declaration. The declaration is very simple, and it sets out the directors of finance ambition for themselves and their teams, and it shows their commitment to Future Focus Finance. So if you are a finance director and you haven't signed yours yet, then we will be coming to you to ask you to sign up to Future Focus Finance. We are ambitious. We'd like to get a large number of NHS finance directors signed up. So and it shows your team your commitment to be able to engage in the Future Focus Finance products. The second is value makers. So value makers, we are recruiting our first cohort. These individuals could be clinicians, finance staff, patients, public service users, and they will be ambassadors of NHS Finance. They are linked very closely to caremakers, and they will be the eyes and the ears and the groundswell of individuals from across the NHS family to actually say we're committed to value. And our first cohort is being recruited now, so please do consider applying.
Thanks, Sam. We've already mentioned the Communications Hub website. Just to let you know, the address for that is www.futurefocusfinance.nhs.uk. It's a 2-minute process to register. Please go onto the site, have a look around, and begin to contribute to some of the blogs that have already been posted there. We really want the website to be a two-way process, so don't wait for us to post things on there. If you've got exciting stuff you want to tell the world about, please do that. We've mentioned Twitter as well. Our Twitter account is @NHSFFF. You can follow us on there, and we're trying to use the hashtag Future Focus Finance. So please go to Twitter and have a look on all the things that have been discussed on there. As Sam said a moment ago, there's some really interesting stuff being developed through Twitter. And then finally, we would encourage you to run local FFF launch events. We would be happy to come and support those. You can maybe do them on an economy-wide basis. You can do them with a number of other organisations. Please let us know what you want, and we'll do everything we can to support that to try and make Future Focus Finance a success. Of course, you can use this video any way you wish to, and we'd be very happy to allow you to do that. Thanks for your time. I hope this has been interesting, and see you soon.
Thank you.